Here's my real love review of The Betrayed by Kiera Cass. It gets 3 stars.
Wow.
Here's why.
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler! This is a spoiler warning.
After fleeing her home country of Karoa in the wake of the assassination of her husband, Hollis is unsteadily adjusting to life with his royal adjacent family in the kingdom of Iseult. His family are kind and welcoming, all except for his cousin Eaton, who has a deep-seated dislike for the Karoans. But through Hollis's influence, despite the family's history of misfortune, she lifts their spirits and helps them to attempt to unseat the tyrant king of Iseult. But as Eaton and Hollis are forced to get along, they find that their first judgment of one another was incorrect and that perhaps they aren't so different after all. Initially, because of his mistrust, Eaton is rude and suspicious of Hollis. Despite this, she does her best to be kind to him as an extension of the family she has come to adopt for herself. When Hollis braids Aunt Joanna's hair with flowers to give her some small good in her life, a way of life for them to fight for, Eaton sees it and is actually grateful to see his mum so happy. It is the first chink in his armor towards Hollis because he finds it hard to hate someone who loves the ones that he loves. And yet he is still mean towards her when she is trying to partake in the family bread making, amongst other moments. And when the tension builds to breaking point, they both say angry, hateful words to one another in an argument at dinner in front of the whole family. It drives Hollis to try to run away back to the dangers of Karoa because she doesn't feel welcome in Iseult because of him and the staff of the manor. For the sake of his family, Eaton comes after Hollis and convinces her to return. After this, they agree to put their differences aside and work together as pseudo-friends. This forces them to see the good in one another. And so Hollis starts to fall for Eaton, and Eaton starts to act with kindness towards Hollis. He gives her wood for her fireplace when the maids refuse to bring her some. He brings her bread when she left the feast early and vomited. And he asks for her favour for the jousting tournament, which is a sign of support of her being Karoan. But when they do finally fall into another argument, he kisses her to make her stop talking. This is confusing because they are both at this point in love with one another. So Eaton explaining it away as being just a way to stop her from arguing with him is an act of cowardice and was not a loving thing to do, especially because it then confuses Hollis about how he feels. When the situation changes and Eaton rises to the throne of Iseult and Hollis gets thrusted onto the Karoan throne, they let go of one another for the sake of each other's kingdoms. Hollis resolves that if she can't be with Eaton, then she wants to instill confidence in the woman who he will call his wife. Eaton apologizes for how he treated Hollis in the beginning, and Hollis fights for a way for the two of them to be together by uniting their two kingdoms into one kingdom. Whilst there was a lot of unfounded hate on Eaton's part initially, Hollis was stalwart in acting with love towards him despite not liking his company. Eaton makes up with acts of love for Hollis eventually, which is why I'm giving The Betrayed a 3-star
Wow.
real love rating.